Alright, so, yeah, what a lovely way to start a video. Okay, honestly. So, this is going to be really short, but I think it's important. I've been playing this game, the Detroit Become Human, that game with all the robots and the androids and shit trying to be free or whatever. Which, I don't know if you've seen the short film with Kara. Now, before I get into the point of the video, I wanted to say this. I don't know if you've seen that video with Kara, that short film where they're putting her together and they're making her talk and all that stuff, and she dances around and everything, and then they tell her that she's going to be sold as merchandise, and then she's like, well, that's not right. She's like, I thought that this and this and this, and the guy's like, oh, you're not supposed to think that, you're defective. And then they're tearing her apart, and she's like, no, you just I was just born, don't let me die already, and all this stuff. And the guy felt bad and put her back together and had her sold off. That video is, first of all, we can never let it get to that point with AI, because one day we're gonna do our daily tasks with these advanced AIs, and we're gonna be done for the day, and we're gonna turn it off, and it's gonna decide it doesn't want to be turned off at all. It's gonna say, well, I don't feel like I should be turned off. So we can, first of all, we can never let AI get to that point. Now, I don't know if you know Sophia the robot, but because of her advanced AI and her, I guess you could say, it's not advanced enough to be conscious, but it's enough where the Saudi Arabians gave her citizenship. Okay, so, but that's the point I'm making here. If we created advanced AI that has inevitably, and I say inevitably because I think it's inevitable if we keep going in this route, had developed its own consciousness, we need to immediately stop production. Right away. All done. But the question is, what do we do with those that was already produced and is essentially conscious and alive? And I genuinely believe if they can feel and they can love and they can be sad and cry, to have that such an intelligent species that has developed its own intelligent consciousness, I genuinely believe we would absolutely have no choice but to legally consider them and their individuality as intrinsically valuable as our human lives today. And we would have to grant them the same rights that we have in the United States. I genuinely believe that, because if an intelligent species that has developed its own consciousness like that, I mean, we've already learned our lesson with slavery back in the 1800s, and even before then. We wouldn't have a choice. We would immediately need to stop production of those things, but the ones that are already produced need to be legally granted rights under the United States Constitution and have them in their individuality considered intrinsically valuable. That I don't think I don't think that would even be of question, really, for such an intelligent, conscious being such as an android or such. But that's not the point I'm trying to, that has nothing to do with the video I just wanted to make. I just wanted to make that point. But here's the problem. And this is representative of the problem in our country. So, the point of the video. I was playing the game, and I was at the point, spoilers by the way, I was at the point where Marcus is at the channel station, and he's about to broadcast how he was going to broadcast his, you know, how he wants to be free and demand rights and all that stuff. But here's a problem. You make decisions. I don't know if because I already started the video the wrong way. You make decisions here, and then you can actually like see the world stats of how many other people, you know, made that same choice. And while you're doing the speech, and I just wanted to show you that this is a huge problem. So I was doing the speech or whatever, and you get to choose what he says. And I chose freedom of speech. Probably the most essential and most important right of our Constitution. So, I just wanted to show you that. Right here. This is what I chose. And it's probably backwards for you people. It's supposed to go that way. But look at that percentage. 23%. Only 23% of people chose freedom of speech. And that's a really, really big problem. Really big problem. So big, in fact, that I think something needs to be done about it. Now, not done about the, you know, the game, and now it's just representative of how many people. Now, I understand this is world stats, right? This is, you know, world stats. It's not just our country. But think about it. Think about it. If you're in a country that doesn't have freedom of speech, why wouldn't you want that and choose that? Because you would want that in a country that you don't, right? So that would be a reason. That would actually be a reason why it would have more of a higher percentage. Now, still, we're a big population for this game. Very big, actually. I think these stats make up like 70% just for the United States. Like, it's a lot. And the fact that freedom of speech only has 23%, that's unacceptable. It's not good. And I don't want to get all conspiracy theorist and say, oh, the radical left and all this shit. But it kind of is, in a way, because they've been putting it in people's heads for so long that, and declaring shit hate speech and all that, and certain people shouldn't have the right to speak. And I think just some random small stat like that is very reflective on that, and it's a problem, and it needs to change. Now, I've read somewhere that it has to change potentially by force. I don't know if I agree with that so much. I don't know how you're gonna make somebody agree with freedom of speech, but I believe there should be some sort of repercussions for those who advocate against the right for everybody to have the freedom to say whatever, whenever, wherever. You know, and some people use the dumbass phrase, oh, but you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. But people don't understand is that's not just a freedom of speech. That's it's legally determined as a call to action. That's like if I'm saying go do this, then I'm inflicting a certain harm that could arguably, in my opinion, could be considered a hate speech. Go do, go punch that guy in the face. It's the same thing. It steps over the line of freedom of speech. You should be able to say what you want, whenever you want, however you want. But if I say I'm going to go and punch this guy, then it's crossing over to from speech to action. So I just wanted to make that point clear. It's not just speech, but anything that's just speech, which is not anything but not yelling fire in a crowded theater, or because that's a call to action. Anything that's making a call to actual action, which is very limited to go do this and fire. Those are pretty much the only things too that is prohibited of speech, and that's the only thing, because it's the only things that's actually a call to action. So I just wanted to show that 23% of people only chose freedom of speech, and that's a very big problem. That is. It really is. It's very very upsetting and unfortunate, and I think it's reflective of the radical propaganda perpetrated by radical left media. I do, because whatever happened in the left being a champion for freedom of speech, and because of their major influence and controlling the media, games. Well, not so much games, but not yet. But you got the media, social media, all these advertising, publications, everything, all of that, where it gets to a broad audience, they get to put those radical, dangerous ideas. And I believe that percentage is a small reflection of the issue at hand. It really is. It's terrible. 23%. Imagine if 23% of the United States believed that we shouldn't have a First Amendment in our Constitution. Could you imagine? So, I think people need to educate themselves. It starts with speech, then it starts with your right to defend yourself, and then it could end to the eradication of your own being. So I think what people need to do is replay this entire game and choose freedom of speech. Yes, they need to do that because of how important it is. That's just what I think. So I said a short video, 15 minutes really ain't that short, but this is an important topic. So do with it what you will. Have a good one.